Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR HALACHA. And here's a brand new HALACHA for you. And it's for Tuesday, 13th of August, 12th day of Av. Here we go. Before we close out, for once, for this season, on the laws of the 3 weeks, I just want to tell you one residual halacha that applies to us all year long, and that is, after all, we don't have the Beis Hamikdash, so there is some restraint on our happiness throughout the entire year. You should just know, don't worry, you're not going to have to follow this law, but there were rabbis that way back at the time of the Gemara who were considering that no one should ever listen to music again until the Beis Hamikdash, the temple, is rebuilt. But they said it would be too hard for people to, live like that, so they scratched that idea. But instead they said that we should have some restrictions on ourselves always to just kind of remind us that things are not perfect and we're living without a temple. Some of these are, you're going to recognize some of them. At a wedding, you know how they break a glass right before they announce, right at the end of the chuppah. They break a glass because we say, Im eshkachech Yerushalayim, tishkach yamini, tidbak lashoni lechiki imlo izkarechi, imlo ala es Yerushalayim al rosh simchasi. In short, loose translation, we're saying there that if I forget Jerusalem, then my right hand should wither away. I should put Jerusalem at the top of all my simcha. So what we kind of do at a wedding is we say, we're going to break a glass. It's kind of a sign of sadness, and we'll feel that sadness, and then we will proceed with the simcha. We can't fully proceed with the simcha until we feel like something's missing. For that reason, some other things that you're not going to know so well, some of you may have heard of this, is that before the chassan, the groom walks down to the wedding, down the aisle, they put some ashes right here on the top of his head where he would be putting his tefillin, as a sign also that, hey, we're missing the temple. When someone builds a brand new house, it's recommended that they leave a little spot above the front door on the inside of the house, 1 amma by 1 amma. An amma is like your arm, basically, your forearm. Like a square like that that's unfinished, so that you have your beautiful house, but there's that reminder things are not perfect. And it stays like that, unfinished, so that you could be reminded that, hey, we don't have the temple. I have a beautiful house, but I couldn't perfect it because I always put Jerusalem first. Other examples, some people to this day don't play live music inside of the old city of Jerusalem. There is a halacha also that if a lady owns, let's just pick a number, 54 pieces of jewelry, she should never wear all 54 pieces of jewelry at one time. That's just a way of saying, cool it. We don't have the Beis Hamikdash. I can't show full, all-out happiness when we know we don't have the Beis Hamikdash. One more example that I can think of is even when you're laughing and you're having like a comedy and jokes and everything, you're supposed to restrain your laughter and not just go all out crazy, fall down, rip roaring laughing. A Jew doesn't do that because he says, I'm forever aware that something's missing. And that's the gist of it. The gist of all the laws ever since the temple was destroyed are that any Jew experiencing happiness should do it a little bit restrained, knowing that unfortunately we don't have our temple. Okay, and so that's going to close out all the laws we're going to tell you about mourning for the temple. What we are going to tell you over the next few days is something about a sort of small holiday that's coming up called Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av, and we'll tell you more about that over the next few days. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.